You think there's Star Wars fans in the audience? Is that what you're trying to say? By the looks of these people, I don't see one Star Wars fan here. Are they real Star Wars fans? What does that mean? The ones that know that Empire Strikes Back is the best and Darth Vader doesn't do shit like, no!
We want to make something for the fans. So I said, all I wanted to do was tell a story of what happened.
George Lucas raped our childhood. George Lucas raped our childhood. George Lucas raped our childhood.
They were your kids.
Yeah, well, they are right. You know, I loved them. I created them. I'm very intimately involved in them, and obviously to
and
sell
you
them
sold
off.
them.
I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and.
Okay, but I mean.
So fan entitlement is the worst. Obviously, sometimes fan entitlement can be a good thing. In the case of the Snyder Cut, fans were entitled to get another cut of a movie released. A movie that was promised to fans in trailers and advertising. And now we're going to get to see the Snyder Cut because fans never stopped asking for it. And in that case, that's a good thing. You know, the studio fucked over a director, and now we're going to get to see his original vision for the movie. But sometimes fan entitlement is the fucking worst. And the biggest example of that is Star Wars. Fans got all over George Lucas's case when he made the prequels, and they hated on him so much that he inevitably sold the franchise to Disney. And then you got a bunch more worse films, thanks to fan entitlement. And fans were so entitled over Star Wars, they kept complaining about every movie. I know because I was one of them, complaining about every sequel movie. And that's why the movies kept getting progressively worse. Because Disney kept listening to fans. They kept changing direction midway through movies. And now the Star Wars brand is in shambles right now. And it's all because of the fans of Star Wars. Now the same thing is happening with The Last of Us. People are so entitled to the characters in Last of Us that when they hear possible leaked story beats from the game, they turn completely on the studio that gave them the first game in the first place. And a lot of people keep saying that Joel and Ellie are their characters, which is bullshit. They're not your characters. Just because you like playing as certain characters in video games does not give you the right to say what they should or should not do with the characters. That's up to the people that actually created the characters in the first place. Like George Lucas and how he created the Star Wars movies, it's up to him how that story is continued, not fans. And the same thing with Neil Druckmann. It's up to him the direction these characters go, not a bunch of self-important fans. And it wasn't Naughty Dog that leaked Last of Us Part 2. Those were a bunch of assholes that did that. And because a bunch of assholes did that, a lot of people felt entitled to spoil the game for everybody, to spread the leaks around, to give their stupid opinions about what they thought about it. And they feel so entitled to their dumb opinions that when Naughty Dog starts taking down people's posts that are frankly spoiling the game or making fun of the game, trying to ruin the image of Naughty Dog before this game's released, then it becomes a game of, oh, that's my opinion. You can't take down my opinion. It's just my opinion, blah, 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 blah. And then when you find out, hey, the leaks might not be entirely accurate and they're actually from pre-alpha footage of the game, then all of a sudden people move the goalposts and say, oh, Naughty Dog overworks their staff, so that's why we're mad at them. Well, you didn't really care about that back when Jak 2 was being made, right? Or back when Uncharted 1 was being made, because Naughty Dog has had these work practices for decades, and everybody's known and nobody's cared until now. But that's just how fan entitlement works. You know, you move the goalposts, everything is somebody else's fault and not your own, because the only reason all this is happening to The Last of Us Part 2 is because a bunch of asshole fans think that their opinion matters. And when fans think that their opinion matters, you get stuff like the sequel trilogy to Star Wars. You get stuff like George Lucas selling his baby to white slavers at Disney. That's what happens most of the time with fan entitlement. Sometimes you'll get something good, like the Snyder Cut being released, a movie that was never going to see the light of day, getting released. That's a much better cause than, oh, we're just going to rag on Naughty Dog constantly because we don't know anything about the game. We just think we know something about the game. And oh, now we're going to get mad that Naughty Dog is taking down our posts that are pretty much lying about everything that's in the game. And we're going to get mad at Naughty Dog because they're taking down those posts. We're going to get mad at Naughty Dog because people are constantly slandering the company. It's just wild how people think they're entitled to tear down one of the greatest game developing companies there's been in the last 20 years. How they're so entitled to Star Wars that they think they can change the sequel trilogy in between movies and everything's going to be all right. The only reason Rise of the Skywalker came out the way it did is because a bunch of asshole fans kept bitching about The Last Jedi. I know, I was one of them. But that is the only reason Rise of the Skywalker came out the way it did, because they reacted to a bunch of asshole fans that were complaining about The Last Jedi. But thank God Last of Us 2 is already a finished game, and we're going to get to see it and play it, and they can't alter anything to appease these dumb fans that bitch about everything, like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, who has nothing positive to say ever about anything, and he's openly admitted to only making videos to get your clicks and money, and he really doesn't believe anything he's saying. So, keep supporting those people if you're that goddamn stupid, and I'll keep supporting artists and their visions, and I'm not going to feign outrage because everybody else is doing it. But yeah, that's it for now. That's just my little rant on fan entitlement, how it's shit most of the time, and we rarely get anything good out of fan entitlement, except for the Snyder Cut, of course. That's the only good that's ever come out of fans. Because at the end of the day, fans are just fans. They're not creatives. They don't know how to put shit together. They don't know how to create anything. They just know how to consume. But anyway, have a wonderful day. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye for now.
We want to make something for the fans.
Your little secret, okay? The customer's always an asshole.
I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and okay, but